GM fam. About 6 months ago, the Biden administration released their executive order on cryptocurrency, which promised bold action in the form of demanding some studies be conducted and released within 6 months. So sure enough, last week at the 6-month deadline, the White House released their digital assets framework, which was mostly just issuing and releasing these studies. So take a look at the studies. There are some PDFs. Some of them are actually interesting reading, but there's not a ton decisive in there. So a lot of it was just describing which agencies are currently doing what with regards to cryptocurrency and where it's not interfering with any other agency allowing this. We know there's some inside baseball going on about CFTC, SEC, who's going to get jurisdiction. Nothing decisive there. A really big motif within this was CBDCs. So clearly this is of extreme import to the United States. And we know that the dollar is very important to the United States. So it's not a surprise that they're interested in modernizing this using some form of CBDC that could extend their power and also potentially dollar dominance. So a lot of this report was themed around CBDCs, saying cryptocurrency itself is super risky, but CBDCs, that's an opportunity. So we are working up a whole separate article on CBDCs, but at the moment, where does it stand? We know that some like to mock the US government as not really understanding crypto, but at least one of these reports is a technical primer on how to build a CBDC, and it's actually really interesting. It might be evil underlying it, but the technical information, kind of interesting, in-depth report. I'm not necessarily convinced they have the chops to pull this off, but they're at least doing their homework. So there's a few other questions tied up with this. Would a CBDC get adoption? I don't think you're going to see meaningful adoption from the consumer standpoint. We already have decently working options, so there's no really need for a CBDC. China tried this. They're a little bit ahead of us, and they tried to release a digital yuan. Didn't really take. No one really wanted it. So the only real way you could get CBDCs out there would be compulsion. You could, for example, require taxes be paid in CBDCs. Wouldn't have much choice then. So if the government wants a CBDC badly enough, they're going to be able to issue it. Which means one other question, the authorization. There seems to be broad agreement that even if the Fed could design a CBDC, it couldn't be really released without congressional authority. And here we might see some hope that Congress could do its job, because there's at least a portion of Congress that is very dead set against the CBDC. If they're able to institute some severe safeguards, they might actually release a CBDC that maybe could be good. A little bit too early to say, but overall, this is all that you missed last week. There were some people that said it's the end of the world. Some people that said it was kind of good. Mostly it's just kind of neutral. A lot of reports, recommend you read through them. We link the ones you can find in the article. Interested in hearing your thoughts and your takeaways in the comments as always. Stay safe, friends.